Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Hong Kong Squash Open 2017. We've got 4 more quarterfinals coming up for you this evening, starting off with this match between the number 2 seed Raneem El-Walili and New Zealand's Joelle King. So King in your screen now. From New Zealand, she's currently ranked 9 in the world, has been as high as 4. That was just before her injury break in 2014. 29 years old. She was a quarter-finalist here back in 2015, and she has had an absolutely outstanding season so far. Semi-finalist in China, beating Laura Massaro and Nicole David on the way through there. Runner-up in Macau. Semi-finalist at the US Open. She beat defending champion Camille Serme in the second round there. And then a runner-up in Karawaimola, where she took out today's opponent, El-Walili, in the semi-final. So her form has been outstanding. Came through 2 tough rounds to make it this far. Beat Nadine Shaheen first round in 5, and then Perry in 4 in the last 16. So she's up against Raneem El-Walili from Egypt, 28-year-old from Alexandria, currently ranked 2 in the world, is a former world number 1. She held that for a period of 4 months at the end of 2015. She's a 2-time world championship runner-up. And this year she defended her title in Chicago, taking the Windy City title, and has been in pretty decent form this season. A runner-up at the US Open, lost to Al-Tayeb in the final, and then semi-finalist at the Karawaimola, losing to King in that match. And she's already avenged one of those losses. She was outstanding in her second round match against Tayeb yesterday. What a performance from both players. Walili just edging it in the 5th. So now the chance to avenge another loss against Joelle King. She is well ahead in their head-to-heads, 9-1 to El-Walili. But if you look at the most recent meetings this year, it's 1-1, with, as I mentioned, King taking that previous encounter. There's our referees for this match. And joining me in commentary is former New Zealand national coach Paul Hornsby.
Time.
Evening, Paul.
Good evening, Vanessa.
So you'll be quite familiar with Joelle King. Worked with her
Yes.
certain amount.
Yeah. Well, in my previous role, I spent a lot of time working with Joelle. Would travel to her hometown of Cambridge on a weekly basis. I can't claim to have had anything to do with her recent form, though. It's been a while since we got on court together, but well, she's really managed to find some unbelievable form at the start of this season, which is fantastic for Joelle.
It is. It's been it's kind of been a long time coming, really, for King. I mean, she got up to number 4 in the world, didn't she, in 2014, and then she had that awful injury which took her out for almost a year.
Yeah.
And it's only now that she's really managed to find that kind of form again. The game really sort of steamed ahead, I feel, in that period she was out. It was right at the time when the women's game really seemed to get a lot better. There's
a lot of young Egyptians came through in that period of time. Yeah, it's been a bit of a journey for Joelle, really, to recover from that injury. But she's certainly finding a way to produce the goods right now.
Joelle King of New Zealand to receive. Best of 5 game. Laval.
So El-Walili kicks off the first game in this quarter-final. Well, I spoke to Joelle a few nights ago, and we were talking about what we just said about how the game suddenly seemed to have gone up a level in that period that she was out, and she said she actually feels like she's playing better now than she did when she was number 4 in the world. So that just goes to show how strong the women's game is currently.
Yeah, she's looking good, Joelle. For me, when I see, I suppose the main thing that I see in the recent matches that she's won against the likes of Camille and Nicole, Laura, Raneem, is just a general composure on the court. Nothing seems to really fluster her. She didn't seem to get too excited about
Yeah.
leading those matches, or even
The ball
when
is
she
solid.
wins the match. So there's no real emotional sort of
Now 1-2.
celebration at the end of the match. So she seems to be really taking things in a stride, and it's working for her.
Well, one thing I really always felt that Joelle needed to do was just look to sort of add different dimensions to her game. She's got a really solid base, likes to play quite fast. She's one of the best strikers of the ball, I think, in the women's game.
Yeah.
But
Ball.
just bringing in those subtleties, changes of pace,
Yeah.
that was something that you didn't really tend to see from her, and it was something she said she's really been working on.
Yeah, there's never been any doubt about Joelle's athletic ability and the pace that she can create on the ball. But variety is the spice of life, as they say, Vanessa.
Well, it certainly seems to be a big part of a lot of the Egyptian players' game.
Yeah.
And El Walili, a very good example of that. And one-paced hitting, I think we saw that a little bit with Shabini's match against Gohar. The
3-2.
one-pace hitting from Gohar, it doesn't really matter how fast the pace is. It
Yeah.
doesn't really seem to trouble players like Shabini, and I
Yeah.
think El Walili's a bit the same. They can almost feed off that kind of pace.
4-2.
That's a tight backhand ball from the Egyptian.
5-2.
And that was a colossal match that she had with Nour El Tayeb yesterday. Some of the rallies in that were absolutely breathtaking.
It was great, wasn't it? Such a good advert for women's squash.
Yeah.
You can't get much better than that. Played in the best kind of spirit. They're good friends. Well, that's 2 squeezes now on that backhand side.
6-2.
All the players obviously having to make the adjustment onto this court. No one's had a match on here yet, but El Walili did play 2 matches on the glass court downstairs, whereas Joelle's one of the players that's been battling away on the traditional court for 2 rounds. Really tough first round, actually, didn't she, against Nadine Shaheen?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one. I was
I didn't see the match.
commentating.
I saw the scoreline. I did chat to Joelle actually after the match. She felt like she finished things off fairly clinically in the end, but it did go to 5 games.
Down.
Felt like that was an important rally for King to win there.
Out,
He's
3-6.
running away from her a bit. Got to be careful, haven't you, when you serve into Raneem's backhand side.
And out.
I mean, the ball
7-3.
Did find the side wall, but she's got a bit of a name for herself for that cross-court nick. Oh, that's another tight ball down the backhand. She's certainly looked more accurate of the 2 so far, the Egyptian.
Well, that was a good example of
8-3.
the ability to hit shots off anything, really. I mean, it wasn't a particularly bad drive from Joelle. It was relatively tight. It got to the back of service box.
9-3.
So the perfect start for El Walili in this quarterfinal. Looking extremely relaxed out there.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly the same thing, actually, Vanessa, and we've said that a number of times this week already, that when
And out,
Raneem's in this
4-9.
kind of frame of mind, she can look virtually unplayable, can't she?
She can. She's she's quite difficult to read because when she's feeling a bit nervous, she still looks very relaxed, but she almost can be a little bit too relaxed. And you can see it a little bit with her movement. If she's really sort of looking to get up on the tee, then that's usually quite a good sign for El Walili. And also looking to work the rallies, still obviously taking opportunities. But when she starts to go for shots that aren't on, that's always a sign that she's a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it can become a little bit error-ridden, can't it?
It's better from King, though, just lengthening out the rally, able to put a bit of pressure on El Walili. Just needs to try and get a bit of momentum going towards the end of this first game.
You can't leave the ball there against Raneem El Walili.
And out 10-5, game ball.
So 5 game balls for El Walili to take the first game. Lovely backhand boast from King.
And out 6-10, game ball. Out. Seven, 10, game ball.
Well, if Joel can find a way to put another point on the board here, this is going to get quite interesting, I feel. Oh, this is nice, positive squash from the New Zealander.
8-10, game ball.
Yeah, she's starting to find her targets in the back, isn't she? She's finding the angles, getting El Walili playing off her back foot a bit more. But again, just one cross court not finding its mark, and the ball's put away. So
It's 1 game to love.
Raneem El Walili taking that opening game. So a 9-minute first game. Raneem El Walili taking it 11-8, and she leads against Joelle King 1 game to love.
Well, it really was a high-quality first game from these two players who are in fine form at the moment. Absolutely no signs of fatigue from Raneem El Walili there. She was silky smooth for the majority of that game, moving and hitting with a lot of freedom, causing Joelle King a lot of damage with a pinpoint accuracy and clinical shot making. But Joelle King worked hard there to lengthen the rallies. She did solidify as the game went on. Managed to keep the ball away from Raneem's racket for a good period of time there, and just seemed to really step up the court and be more aggressive, more purposeful with the shot making. And I think we've got a classic battle on our hands here.
Fifteen seconds.
That's a pretty solid lineup in that box, isn't it? Not that one. Sorry, Paul. No offence.
Well, it's quite interesting, though. I mean, El Walili had Nour El Shabini, Nour El Tayeb, 2 pretty decent players in her corner, but she was choosing to speak to someone on the phone.
That's right.
No offence, girls.
Who do you think it would have been?
I'm not sure.
Love all.
So El Walili starts off the second game. Would have to be someone pretty decent though, you'd think.
Yeah.
Well, I was impressed with how King sort of ended that first game.
Yeah.
I mean, the deficit was too big for her to bridge, but
Wow.
she really started hitting her targets a bit better, and that's absolutely crucial. She's got to get that ball running.
Yeah.
If she leaves anything short, service box area, I mean, El Walili is just so good from that area.
I mean, how was the pace of that rally from Joelle King?
And out 1 love.
She absolutely spanked every single ball in that rally. Relentless pressure.
Hitting it the right height, though, on the front wall.
Yeah. But as you say, got to be accurate too. This is some start to the second game from Joelle King.
2 love.
Well, that's how crucial ending a game well can be, isn't it? Getting that momentum back,
Yeah.
even though you lose the game, because she's continued in the same vein.
Oh. This is really entertaining squash as well.
Well, it's a nice contrast, isn't it, between these two, the sort of subtleties
Now 1
Yeah.
of
2.
El Walili and then the power
Yeah.
and accuracy of King.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very clean game as well. Isn't it? I don't think we saw one decision in that first
No,
game, did we?
yeah, it's true.
Always nice to just appreciate the squash.
Very true.
Down.
Oh, it was the right shot.
It's almost like she had too much time there.
2 all.
Well, I must give a shout out to everybody in New Zealand, who I'm sure will be many
Yeah.
people tuned into this. It's now 20 past 10 on the
3-2.
Friday night, so what better way to...
Perfect.
What about that for a start to the weekend?
Down.
Is she quite well known in New
No,
Zealand as
3-all.
as a sort of sports personality?
Yeah, she is really, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Most people that don't necessarily follow squash would maybe know who she is.
Well, of course, when you do mention the word squash in New Zealand, a lot of people say...
Susan Devoy.
First person to think about is Susan Devoy, who was actually here the other day, wasn't she?
I heard, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
see her.
Yeah. Yeah, she was here as part of a race relations minister role, collecting some award apparently. But no, I know there's a lot of players that I work with are subscribers to Squash TV, big fans. I did promise a shout out to
Stuck the
Chapel High
king.
coach Nathan Rymel.
The king.
He'll be
And out
tuned
4
into
all.
this.
Evening, Nathan.
Myself and Nathan used to, well, I see him every week for a session, but in the early days he used to like to get on court nice and early. 5:45 a.m. would you believe? On a Thursday morning was our regular slot.
Wow.
That's commitment for you.
I don't think many of the pros could say
5-4.
that they do that.
Using the whole of the front wall there, Joelle King. Because she doesn't want to just rely on sheer power, does she, as we were saying?
No, good use of the lift in that rally. A couple of times.
And out 5 all.
Important to have that element to your game against someone like El Walili, where there's phases of the match where you can be really dragged around the court. Need to create a bit of time for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you've almost got to accept that there's going to be periods of time where you really,
Well, you have to defend, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah, you just have to weather the storm for a few rallies.
Down.
Well, King lucky to get away with that one.
And out. 6-5.
Oh, look at that.
Again, the serve. You'd almost be better just
And out 6-all.
using her power just to hit it down the middle.
Oh, she's plucked that out of the
Go
air.
for the out, sort of into the
Yeah.
body serve.
Yeah,
Because even if, as you said before, even if it comes offside wall, players like Walili and Shabini does it as well, they can still angle that ball
Yeah.
into the nick.
yeah. I think on that occasion, the Joel's serve didn't get to the sidewall,
No.
did it? So she just managed to get her
7-6.
strings around the ball a bit easier. Yeah, it's good pressure.
8-6.
That's a good run of points from Raneem El Walili. She was trailing 6-5 a couple of seconds ago.
And out 7-8.
That's a better serve from Joel. Well taken. I actually caught the back end of a match with Sarah Jane Perry last night, and this shot was absolutely on song for her. Backhand volley drop.
Yeah, great balance hitting that shot.
When we talk about how close Raneem's second round match was against Nour El Tayeb, Joel had to work equally as hard against Sarah Jane Perry.
Oh, the ball's gone.
Yeah. I actually think Joel might have saved a few game balls in the third game to save Sarah Jane Perry taking a 2-1 lead. So again, an example of Joel playing the big points well,
Yeah.
and you know, not just being careful on those big points, backing herself with shots like that. Just going back to the viewers in New Zealand, Vanessa, it's massively popular squash TV over there because, of course,
Since you
Been-
started commentating.
I'm definitely sure that's not the reason. You know, they just don't have exposure to squash of this sort of calibre, really. They do have a few PSA events there, but they tend to be smaller events. And there's no really realistically close enough to travel to see this kind of squash. So
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's true of a lot of places, actually. It just gives access to this level
yeah,
for up-and-coming players who aren't able to travel to tournaments.
Yes, left.
yeah, there's a lot to be learnt
Left
from
side. 8-all.
seeing what these players are capable of, how the
Sure.
modern game is evolving.
Sure, it's used as a coaching tool for juniors a lot more than it
Definitely.
used to be.
Yes.
So we're poised at 8-all in this second game. Nice fast ball after the change.
This is a fast and furious
Down.
rally.
Oh.
Ooh,
Difficult to control the ball when it's just when it's brand new.
And out 9-8.
yeah, didn't quite commit to the shot there, did she, Joelle? Oh, she's plucked that one out though.
Great finish. It
Slam
popped
dunk.
out, but she'd taken it so early, there was
Down
just no
9-all.
chance. Well played. She's controlling the middle of the court.
She is, yep.
So far up the court.
10-9, game ball.
So game ball for Joelle King.
Down.
Well, that's not what Joelle would have wanted to see happen. It was another opportunity to pack a punch with the volley.
There's a ball hunt going on.
Surely we're not going to have another one.
Got stuck in the seating somewhere, I think.
This is going to...
Another new ball.
Nobody wants to see this, do they?
Someone needs to crawl under that seating.
Yeah. It's frustrating. But at least it's not an important point coming up.
Yes, 8-all and then now 10-all.
So this will be the third different ball that they've used in the last 4 rallies. Going to test the focus of these two players now, isn't it?
It is, and you do just have to adapt ever so slightly with the new ball. It's just got that little bit more heat and speed in it.
Yeah.
And you saw that, I think, with Joelle. She tried the drop shot and just wasn't able to control it.
Yeah, well, she'd been putting the ball into that front corner confidently with the previous ball, and it may have just come at a slightly different pace. So that timing's just got to be adjusted very slightly.
And out, 10-all. Player must win by 2 points.
Oh,
Well, what a
11-10,
time for that to happen.
game ball.
That is very fortunate. Just a nice little bounce in that back right. Gives El Walili game ball.
oh, that's a great
What
response.
a finish.
And out, 11-all.
Again, went for the hard kill on the
And out,
forehand, but
12-11,
ball
game ball.
popping out. So another game ball for El Walili.
Another crunching
Wow.
forehand straight ball there.
And out, 12-all.
That is inch perfect from Raneem El Walili.
And out, 13-12, game ball. Down.
And the error from El Walili this time.
And out, 13-all.
and she's hit so many winners from that position.
And out 14-13.
Just clipping
Game
the
ball.
tin. So yet another game ball for El Walili. Is it number 4?
I think it is.
Not up.
Oh, it was an
Thank you.
ambitious cross-court drop to go for there, really, from Raneem Al
It
Walili.
was a strange choice from that position.
Yeah.
The ball was slightly behind her, so it was going to be very
And now
difficult to
40 all.
execute. And King was right on the tee. So another chance for King.
This is good, accurate stuff. King's on the end of this rally. She's hanging on. Still keeps that ball coming back. Not that time, though.
It's too good. Took all the pace off that ball. Too much distance to cover for King.
And out 15-14. Game ball.
Well, what a game this is turning into.
Oh,
Oh.
fantastic.
What a boast from that position. She was in a completely defensive position there, right
And
on her
out
back
15
foot.
all.
Most players would probably opt just to lift that boast, wouldn't they, and just get it on the front wall. Somehow King has hit a winner.
Yeah, that was a low percentage shot there from Joelle King, which
Yeah.
paid off for her.
Again, the hold. It's all about the hold, just stopping
And
King's
out
movement.
16-15. Game ball.
So yet another game ball for El Walili. Can she close it out this time?
And
No
that's going to
legs.
be good enough for Raneem Al Walili.
King didn't even ask there.
17-15. Game to Walili. Walili leads 2 games to love.
So Raneem El Walili, she takes that crucial second game. 17-15 in the end, a 19-minute second game. Raneem El Walili leading 2 games to love.
Well, that really was a monster of a second game there, which Raneem Al Walili's managed to just get across the line. It was almost like a match within itself, really. Joelle King came out at an absolutely ferocious pace for the first couple of rallies, really looking to inject pace wherever she could. And it was nip and tuck, really, all the way through to sort of the later end of the game. And then we had a broken ball, which just disrupted play slightly. And then no sooner had the one that up and played a couple of points, a lost ball. And from that point onwards, it was nip and tuck. But Raneem Al Walili needing several chances to finish the game off. A couple of untimely errors from Joelle King. She must remain positive because the quality of squash on there is absolutely superb.
Fifteen seconds. Walili leads 2 games to love.
Well, this will be a real test for Joelle King now. And she never, although that game was so close, it was, and so long as well,
No ball.
it was Renee Melwalili that had pretty much all the game balls, didn't she? I know Joelle had one game ball at 10-9. But after that, it was all
And
Renee's
down 1 love.
game balls in the tie break.
Yeah, it was pretty relentless stuff as well, apart from those couple of breaks due to the ball breaking and then getting lost. It was pretty much 20 minutes of non-stop high-quality stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
High pace, a lot of movement.
Yeah.
From both players, but if you then win that game, that just gives you a lift, doesn't it? Because you're going into it 1-all,
In down 1-2.
2 love down when you're feeling a bit of fatigue from that
Yeah.
previous game. That's a whole other matter, and that's when you just need to break things down, just, you know, take it one step at a time, sort of forget about the scoreboard
yeah.
really, because that can seem quite daunting.
Yep.
Down.
Just going too tight there on that
And
forehand
now
drop shot,
2-1.
Renee Melwalili. It's another good start to this game from Joelle King. Again, that dominance of the mid-court area.
Out.
You could tell as soon as Reneem had hit that, she'd hit it too hard, couldn't you?
4-1.
It's a bit of a snatched swing at the ball. That's perfectly whipped across the court
Now
from
2-4.
Renee Melwalili. Well, the
Now
rallies have shortened up
5-2.
again, Vanessa. And so far, the majority of these are going in the New Zealanders' favour.
Yeah, you do often see that after a game like that previous one, where it's almost like the players just need a little bit of a breather from how relentless that was. There were a lot of long rallies towards the end of that game.
Yeah. Very
And,
positive stuff.
Thank you.
Incredible
6-2.
response really from King after losing that second. She hasn't let it get to her at all.
Oh, what about that for a reaction?
7-2.
How quick she got a racket in position there.
Down.
Oh, and this is
Well,
starting to look like a little
8-2.
bit of Renee Melwalili. That's almost looking at starting the fourth game well.
Down.
I was going to say, if she loses this point, I think it's all over, but
Yeah.
she's given it one
And
last
now
push, I
2-8.
think.
Well, kind of saw this actually in the Gaultier and Shabagi match when Gaultier had gone 2 love down, but then 7 love up in the third game.
4-8.
Almost looked like Marwan Shabagi had checked out of that game and started to think about the fourth, and then within the blink of an eye, it was 7-all.
Yeah, it can
Down.
often turn on a few points,
Yeah,
like
and-
it is doing here. I mean,
exactly.
suddenly
5-8.
now El Walili's getting very interested again in this game.
yeah, looks very different now.
I think she'll still go for something if she's given, well, she does that anyway, but particularly from this situation. But absolutely crucial for King not to give away any freebies here.
Yeah,
Keep the ball really tight, make sure you get your width.
well,
Down. 6-8.
good adjustment there with Renee Melwalili, managing to just turn the racket face.
Well, this is an incredible effort from El Walili.
7-8.
Big momentum shift. Big point.
Crucial point there for King.
And out 9-7.
Yeah, I don't think Joel King's going to be in a rush to get this next rally started. Opportunity to just refocus.
Good up.
Again, just sheer pace. Using the strings
10-7. Game ball.
with the kill there on the cross court. Such a good shot on this court. So 3 game balls for King,
Down.
and that ball's found the tin.
11-7. Game to King. Walili leads 2-1.
So it's a quick third game, just 7 minutes. Joel King taking it 11-7, but Raneem El Walili still leading 2-1.
Well, it was a game of momentum shifts there, really. Joel King, after going 2-love down and was looking really under the cosh at the end of that second game, has come out firing there and really shot off to a quick and dominant lead, moving to 7-2 very, very quickly. And Raneem El Walili just seemed to relax into the game then, and managed to find plenty of quick winners of her own, and in no time found herself at 7-8 on the scoreboard before Joel King just managed to stop the rots and get that ball back in her hand, and she played 4 nice aggressive points to close out there. She'll take a lot of confidence from that as she moves into the 4th game.
Fifteen seconds. Walili leads 2-1. King to serve. Level.
Well, they both kind of had a little bit of a breather, I guess, in that third. It was
One love.
a relatively short game, and the rallies were quite short as well. So you almost have to sort of start again now for both players. El Walili has to just try and forget about that third.
Yeah.
She's still in control of this match, really.
Good up.
Yeah, well, she needs to remember that she has got the 2-1 lead. She would have, again, it was very, very similar to the Shibagi and Gaultier situation that I just mentioned in that last game. How she just relaxed, maybe thought, well, this game's gone, but then she found herself right back in the game at 7-8. Then as soon as Joel got that next point on the board, she didn't win another rally.
Well, she
Just
just
let-
clipped El Walili there.
Is that the first decision?
I think it might
Two
be,
love.
actually.
Well, it's been a quality match so far.
It really has. Well, what Elderly certainly doesn't want is to have to fight her way back from that kind of deficit again.
And out 1-2. Out.
Oh, it's lucky. It was did well to get
2
that
all.
ball up high on the front wall, just clipping the line. Just lost her line ever so slightly, King. Needs to keep that ball running tight.
3-2.
Oh, this is good. Really testing Raneem's movement with the boast. Wow, it was a great rally. Again, more very positive and accurate squash
Down
from
3 all.
the Kiwi. Oh. Same can't be said for that, unfortunately.
And out 4-3.
Well, she does love to power in that forehand kill, doesn't she? Wasn't
Yeah.
quite in position there.
Yeah, just snatched it a bit. Good work, clever shot that.
And out
Really cutting
4
down the
all.
back of the ball and sending it a very, very awkward angle for Raneem to move on to do anything with. Ball very low and fading away to the side wall. Yeah,
Great shot.
yeah, it was loose
it.
ball,
Yeah.
loose ball
Out
punished.
5-4.
She had to almost improvise a little bit though. The ball sort of was right quite close to her.
Yeah,
Such good skill.
oh,
Oh, that's ridiculous.
it's a tough rally that.
And out
Tough rally for
5
Joelle
all.
King. But what a finish.
Perfect serve.
6-5.
Great little spell here from King.
7-5.
There it is again, the backhand volley drop.
Again, that control through the middle of the court. So difficult to get the ball past King. She's
8-5.
tall, she uses the volley so well. She's so strong crossing along that tee line. Brilliant. Good variation there on the forehand side.
9-5. Yes, let. Yes, let. 9-5. Down.
This is such a
Again,
good chance.
He's had so much time to be in position for that shot.
Hand out 6-9.
Maybe just a little bit upright on the ball, perhaps. She played it. Just got to draw a line under that, though, and focus on this next rally, because the quality from Joelle King has gone up a notch in this last few points, and there's another backhand volley winner.
It's just become an absolute brick wall across that tee line with the volley.
Hand out 10-6. Game ball.
The straight drops and the straight volley kills have just been ridiculous.
Yeah.
So clinical. So 4 game balls for King to draw level. Didn't see that one.
She just
7-10. Game ball.
kind of rolled her wrist round at the very last second there, Raneem Al-Walili, to send that ball straight. Cool, calm and collected there, the Egyptian.
8-10. Game ball.
Game ball down, that was nowhere near as easy as she made it look.
Down.
Well, that error gives
11-8.
Joelle King the game.
13. 2 games all.
And we're going into a 5th. Well, what a great effort from Joelle King. She takes that 4th game in 9 minutes, 11-8, and we're all square here at 2-all.
Well, it was another very, very impressive game from the New Zealander, Joelle King. Very, very tight in the early stage of that 4th game. Neither player managing to get away on the scoreboard. But from 5-all, it was Joelle King that really stood her ground in the middle of the court. She created a huge presence, picking off anything that Raneem didn't get tight enough and wide enough. She took her chances, and fair play to Joelle King. She was rewarded for some very, very aggressive and confident squash. Raneem Al-Walili did threaten to make things very interesting by pulling a few shots back, but Joelle King absolutely edged it in that game, and this is turning into an absolute epic.
Fifteen seconds. Test. 2 games all. King to serve.
Well, it's been said several times today,
Love all.
Vanessa, the quality of the quarter-final lineups have been absolutely mouth-watering, haven't they? And this one's certainly not disappointed.
No, it's been brilliant. So, what do you reckon, Paul? Do you think King's going to do it?
I've got a feeling that she will, you know.
I mean, we wondered how crucial that second game could have been at 17-15.
Ball was well past you. Nolette.
As I say, she just has this air of calmness about her these days, Joelle King does.
She does, and she looks quite determined, but in a good way here.
Yeah.
And looks fresh as well in her movement. The way she's moving around the middle of the court. Not much you can do about that one, though.
And now 1-all.
Where's your money going on this one, Vanessa?
Oh, I mean, it's just impossible to predict, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
every game's been close as well.
Yeah.
2-1.
And I find El Walili just so difficult to predict anyway. She can be so in and out of matches. When she puts phases together, she can be unplayable at times.
Yeah.
Had the tougher run through yesterday. So you never know whether physical aspects could start to play a role if this game gets close. No real signs of that so far, though, from either player.
No. That's what was really good about the, you know, obviously there was that monumental second game, and if anybody was going to look a bit weary, it would have been Joelle after losing that one and going 2-love down, but she's really sparked up. What a rally this is. That was a brutal rally. Beautifully controlled back onto the front wall there.
And out 2-all.
Had to get that ball nice and straight and tight from that position. Well, the drive was actually not that tight, was it? It was the fact that Raneem had gone for the cross court that made it so effective.
Nolette.
That's harsh again. I
So
thought the no let
ball was
against
gone.
Walili was quite harsh.
That was a minimal interference. Yeah.
I mean, there have literally been 2 decisions in this match, and I'm not sure they've got either of them right.
Nolette. And now 3-all.
Sorry, refs, but I've got to call it as I see it. I mean, they're just looking to play every ball, aren't they? They've both got really good clearance. Brilliant post.
Again, such accuracy on display in that rally.
And out 4-3.
I think if we compare the quality and accuracy of the straight line hitting to the match we saw earlier on with Laura Massaro and Tesney Evans, it's very different different match to watch, and I think that's probably, your reason why there's only been
Down
2 decisions
4.
in the match.
Yeah, and also I think once you do start to get traffic issues, it starts to almost players too start to get a bit looser, don't they? Because it sort of alters the movement a little bit. Whereas these players have been allowed to play quite freely.
Yeah.
And out
Well, that was a
5-4.
great finish there from Joel King. It was a huge point as well. Oh, that is glued to the side wall.
And out 5-all.
Well, it just becomes such a mental battle, doesn't it, in this sort of situation? Who can keep their composure? They're both playing very well.
Yeah.
Down.
You certainly wouldn't want to see the player go
Down 6-5.
careful or negative in this situation, because it's, you know, it's been the player who's chose to attack the most has been rewarded. Oh my goodness. Absolutely perfect.
And out 6-all.
Well, they're really going point to point with each other here.
Well, she hasn't been given too many opportunities to play that favourite shot of
7-6.
hers on the backhand. And that'll give her a little confidence boost. So El Walili just edges ahead.
Out. And out 7-all.
This is going all the way, Paul.
Wow. It's got tiebreaker written all over it, I think. It's been so good for her, that shot, in this match.
8-7.
Really small margin for error. She's obviously been practicing a few of those.
Down.
Oh,
Well, you could hear a pin drop in here.
Thank you. And out 8-all.
Oh, what a time to find a shot like that. That long-range straight drop from
9-8.
Renimo Walili. A huge point.
and again, the backhand winner from King. She's been so consistent on that side.
And out 9-all.
Takes a bit more pace off on the backhand side, doesn't she? Tends to hit the forehand in a bit harder.
Yeslet. Yeslet.
Bit of a wayward one there.
9-all.
Oh, dear me.
Hit again.
I mean, that is a ridiculous shot to play from that position. Makes that look so easy.
And out, 10-9.
What a way to
Match
set up
ball.
a match ball. Oh, it's gonna get that. Oh, it's unbelievable
Not
stuff.
up, not up.
Wow. What a rally. How gutsy from King was that? Keep taking
No,
that ball in.
10-all.
She's done it all match, but didn't back off when the pressure was on. So we got the tie break we were looking for.
Yeslet. Yeslet.
And that this match deserved.
10-all.
Yes, I think I ran out of superlatives a long time ago in this match. Vanessa. Almost feel like we're doing the viewers a disservice by just keeping our mouth shut and let the squash do the talking. It's been so good. Oh,
Down.
yes. Final shot there from El Walili was just too good for King.
Out, 11-10. Match ball.
So another match ball for El Walili.
Down.
Done it. Oh, that was edgy. Because she has made a few errors on that forehand side, particularly on pressure points.
In doubt. 11-all.
Gave herself just enough margin that time.
Hand out. 12-11. Match ball.
So third match ball for El Walili. Perfect. She's hit every ball straight. And then just that lovely variation, throwing in the
12-all.
flicked cross court.
Well, without wanting to sound cliche, Vanessa, nobody deserves to lose this match, do they?
Certainly don't. But someone is going to. Oh, wow.
Fair play to Raneem for taking that ball on.
Hand out. 13-12. Match ball.
Finish with an error.
What a
Wow.
match. Such respect between these two and a standing ovation.
14-12. Match to Walili. Walili wins 3 games to 2. 11-8. 15-17. 11-7. 11-8. 14-12.
Incredible stuff. El Walili's been involved in probably 2 of the matches of the tournament now. And she's managed to edge both of them. So Raneem El Walili, second seed, managing to take that match in 5 quite brilliant games. 11-8, 17-15, 7-11, 8-11, 14-12 in 66 minutes.